Welcome everyone. I'm Olivia Todd, the Youth Programming Librarian for the Fort Worth Public Library. I'm here with my colleague,
Katie Combs, Adult Programming Librarian for the Fort Worth Public Library.
Thanks for joining us for part 2 of the Library Dungeons & Dragons video series. Today, we'll be talking about how to make a character in D&D Beyond. As covered in our previous video, we walked you through the steps for how to create an account on D&D Beyond, and now we're going to get into the actual character creation basics. So D&D Beyond has some great tools to help you understand how to get started with making your character, but one thing I'd like to highlight is that you'll be good at some things and not good at others, just like in real life. The real key here is to have fun and to tell a story together. That's what this game is about. So a little more advice, listen to your dungeon master and work with the other members of the party. And if something isn't working for you, speak up in a kind of constructive way. This is a collaborative game, so teamwork is just part and parcel of it, and we're all on this journey together. So no one's perfect, and sometimes people make mistakes, but talking is how we get through it. So when you're creating your character, you'll need to know your character's motivation. Who are they? What are they doing in going off into the enchanted forest to do something terrible or to fight this terrible monster? What does that mean? Why would they go do that? When creating your character, I recommend thinking about who they are as a person. So come up with a name, come up with a concept, and then see where it takes you from there. One thing you're going to want to think about is what job do you want your character to do? And when you know what job you want them to do, that'll be listed on our D&D Beyond page. When you get there, one of the things that you'll have to do is you'll have to pick stats. And there are 6 major stats. There's intelligence, wisdom, strength, constitution, dexterity, and charisma. And in each of those categories, you'll put a number. You see those numbers right there on the slide? The 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. That set of numbers is known as standard array. And the lowest number is the thing that you're not good at, and the highest number thing is the thing that you're best at. So now that we've gone over a little bit of that, Katie, are you ready to go ahead and make your first character?
I'm ready.
Excellent. Let's switch on over to D&D Beyond. Excellent. So after you sign in, you'll see this landing page. Now you're going to mouse over your username. And then when you mouse over, you should get a drop-down menu. And one of the options will say characters. That should be the 5th option down. You see that big blue button that says create character? We're going to go there. All right, so we are going to click on quick build. Now for my advanced players, you are absolutely welcome to choose standard. I think that talking to your DM about what you want your character to be is a really key step. So first things first, in quick build, we'll need to choose a race and choose a class. Now the class is what's your job, and the race is what kind of sentient being you are. You could be all kinds of different things. So let's start with class. So Katie, what job would you like to do in the adventuring party?
So they don't have like a librarian in here, or?
I mean, a wizard is pretty close, honestly, because everything's in books. That's the key. So, but that one's really complicated. So if you want something a little easier, you could pick you could pick fighter, or you could pick rogue or bard if you want to be able to do spells and sing at people, and then they'll take damage with that. You can.
The bard.
All right, perfect. Sassy quips and spells, that is you. Okay, so bard is your job, and then you can choose what kind of sentient being you want to be. So in here, there's lots and lots of choices. Some DMs limit what choices there are, but if you'll notice, there are some that have a drop down and some that don't.
Okay.
The ones that have drop downs, they have special sub races inside. So For example, if we look at dwarf, there's two different choices, or gnome. There's a hill dwarf and there's a mountain dwarf. Now, each of those has its own like special reason why it's that way. So Katie, what kind of, since you're a bard, bards are really, really good at charisma. Now, when I say charisma, that means like performance. It also means deception. So, as someone who's going to do a job that is really high charisma, I recommend picking a race that works well with that. So one of the things that you will get a bonus to, a buff, if you will, you can be a tiefling, which is kind of scary but kind of cool. Or you could be an elf. That's another great choice. You could also just be a human, and humans get extra things. So I would pick human variant because that's where you get your extra thing. So any of those, if any of them sound cool, yep, human variant, awesome. Okay, so the thing about humans is that we don't get any special bonuses right up front. What we get is something extra a little down the road. So let's go ahead and click on create character. Oops, we forgot to name them. Whoopsie. Oop, let's do view character sheet. And we will close this pop-up window. Oh, it just randomly made up a name. That's really cool. Okay, so do you like the name?
I like it. I will stick with Indira.
Great. Okay. Welcome, Indira. Now, if you take a quick look, do you remember how we said we were going to have all those different numbers in places?
Yes.
Does any of that look a little different? Some of those numbers don't match exactly. That's okay. It's on purpose. This is what I mean by certain sentient beings get different types of bonuses. These are your bonuses as a human variant right there. You've got an extra to your dexterity and you've got an extra to your charisma because you're a bard, and those are the important skills for you to be really, really good at. So if you'll look through here, you'll still have to choose your skills. So go ahead and scroll down a little. Okay, so it shows that there are 2 skills with the black dot next to them. Over one column, there you go, that big old list of things. These are all the different ability checks you might make. So in here, this is where you'll make choices about what things are that you'd like to be good at. And that's based on the things that your character is good at in those big columns. Do you see right there, those little gray short form, like 3-letter abbreviations?
Yes.
A lot of the times when you're playing, people will refer to, like, your DM might say, okay, I need you to make an intimidation check. If you look, intimidation is under I, and that's listed under charisma. So therefore, Katie's bard Indira will actually be pretty good at that because her thing is charisma. It's her best skill. Now, if I were to ask her to the stray dog that's growling at her, make an animal handling check to see if the stray dog will stop growling. Probably it's not going to go very well, because if you take a look at animal handling, she has a -1 next to it. If that happens to you, you can ask your party members for help, because odds are pretty good at least someone else in your party will be good at that thing, and they can probably help you. All right, so that was our quick build, and it just filled in all of the things. Now let's go through this character sheet to understand it a little bit so that when you're playing, things will go smoothly. So in here, right now, we have the action tab clicked. And on here, it will list everything that you're able to do in combat. So when you're in combat, the thing that you're going to need to know is all of these things are good to know, but right up there, right above this box, there's an initiative shape. See how it says +3 up there? All right, so when you roll for initiative, you'll roll a d20, which will be on roll 20. Don't worry, you don't need real dice. But you'll roll and then you'll add a +3. So let's say you rolled a 12. It wouldn't really be a 12, it would be a
15.
There you go. So when your dungeon master asks, okay, what'd you roll for initiative? I rolled a 15. Great. Or if the goblin like aims his bow at you and shoots, and he rolls and he only gets a 12, you need to know your armor class, because your dungeon master will say, the goblin aims at you and takes a shot with its short bow and rolls a 12. Then Katie, you can say your armor class is 13. So that does not hit, which means the goblin missed you. That's a great thing. Nobody wants to get shot. So in here, whenever it's your turn, under this action tab, there will be lots and lots of choices. If you want to shorten that up and click on attack, it'll tell you what your attacks are. And that's your melee attack. That doesn't have your spells or anything. So if we're looking for spells, then right up here, there should be a spell list. Yes. Now, because bards do magic, spells are their own section. It's okay if it doesn't show up in your action list. These have their own section because they're fun to use, but you gotta know some stuff, okay? So there's cantrips and there's first level spells. And right up there, those numbers at the top are gonna be important. See where it says a +3 modifier?
Yes.
And a +5 spell attack?
Yes.
And a save DC of 13?
Yes.
Okay, great. So all of those will come in to play depending on the thing that you choose. So for example, if you don't want to fight the goblin, you want to see if you can charm person and be his friend instead, you could cast charm person. But when you do that, that's when that save comes in there, the spell save DC that's at the top. So if you cast charm person on Nork the goblin, then Nork will roll, and if he rolls lower than a 13, you're his best friend in the whole world. He would do anything in the world for you for as long as that spell lasts. But he'll know when the spell breaks and he'll be mad. So timer's ticking. What do you want to do against Nork the goblin? So that's an example scenario of how these things can work. So give a little time, look through your character sheet, and if that quick build doesn't work for you, that's okay. You can change it and you can do standard. And standard takes you step by step by step. You get to choose everything. You choose your armor, you choose your weapons, you choose your spells, all of that good stuff. But if you want to do that quick build, this is what you'll get. And that is our instructional video on character creation for Library D&D. Thank you so very much for joining us. And if you would like to play, to get information, or if you have questions, or if you'd like to play a game with us in Roll20, email us at the link in the description box. Thanks so much. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.